Hello, my friends. This is Tassif. I'm starting my second live stream of the day. I completed a live stream earlier this evening, and as I was ending that live stream, I had said that I am going to be doing a live stream again. I actually asked the question to my community here, and people encouraged me to do another live stream. So here I am. We're getting very close to midnight, but it's still technically October 15th. And so I'm starting this live stream. And if you are joining, please make sure that you introduce yourself in the live chat window, something that I highly encourage because that's how we get to know people. And please make sure that you are subscribing if this is your first time. And everyone just like the video, share the video. I see Frank is saying hello, Tassif and everyone. Frank, hello to you as well. Great to see you. And I see more of our friends are joining. So, okay. Well, I'm going to jump into the discussion. And earlier today, I was talking about the shutdown, right? The radical left Democrat government shutdown. And for this live stream also, I will be talking about the shutdown because it's an ongoing issue. It's a major issue and something that continues to get longer and longer. Okay, I mean, here we are. Let me look at the shutdown clock and give you the exact data here. Michael Brown is here. Michael Brown, good to see you. Our friend Michael Brown from Australia is joining us. We got Frank from Florida, Michael Brown from Australia, and hopefully more friends will be coming in. So the Democrats have shut down the government, and if you look at the shutdown clock, you're going to see it's 15 days, 45 minutes, and 16 seconds, 18 seconds now, 20 seconds now. I mean, the seconds just, every second is a new second. Anyway, 15 plus days, the government has been shut down in the most powerful country in the world. It is quite unbelievable, but that's the reality that we are experiencing, that we're facing now. Everything that is happening right now is going to have an impact on the midterm races, and that is what I'm going to be discussing. I mean, there are many different ways we can talk about the shutdown. We can talk about the actual shutdown and the impact on the people, everyday working people. We can talk about the shutdown and how that impacts the business community. That's going to be a long discussion. We can talk about the shutdown and how that is affecting our image when other countries are looking at us. They're looking at the United States, and everyone out there in the world knows we're the greatest country in the world, most powerful. But how in the world are we having a shutdown? So that's something we can talk about. We can talk about how the Democrats are looking at the shutdown. We can talk about how the Republicans are looking at the shutdown. But what I want to discuss today is how this shutdown, this radical left shutdown, is going to impact the midterm races. Now, for those who don't know, the midterm is next year. It's November 2026. So you might be saying, Tassif, why are we talking about the midterm, 12 months, 13 months in advance? Well, that's because time goes by very fast, and before you know it, it's going to be fall of 2026. Time goes by in the wink of an eye. So, I mean, just think about January 1st of 2025. You were starting a new year, working on your New Year's resolutions and all that. And here we are, middle of October. How did we get here so fast? We're going into the holiday season. Can you believe that? Like Halloween is coming up, and the next month it's Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then the New Year. So even before we know it, we're going to be in 2026. And the political clock, it just ticks faster. It ticks faster, the political clock. If you are in politics, 2 years go by really fast, 4 years go by really fast, 6 years, same thing. 6 years go by really fast. I mean, I can think of 2016 and it feels like yesterday. I clearly remember the election year of 2016. And then I remember 2020. And sometimes it feels like, okay, somebody hit the fast forward. So it's almost like we're jumping through all these days and weeks and months and years and just leaping forward. So here we are, 2025, almost at the end. And then 2026 will be here. And before you know it, it's going to be November 2026 midterm. And so going back to the discussion, the Democrats think that the shutdown will benefit them. Now, I don't understand how the Democrats can come to that conclusion, how they can convince themselves that if they shut down the government, it's going to benefit them. I just like, if you are a person of common sense, you are not going to come to that conclusion. You just can't. There's no way to justify it. There's no way to say, oh, shut down the government, it's going to help the Democrats politically. It's just absolute nonsense. But that's what the Democrats think. And it's not me saying that. It's Chuck Schumer who said, every day gets better for the Democrats. And Chuck Schumer is a Democrat. Chuck Schumer has been in politics for decades. And one would think that he would have the political knowledge and the experience and the understanding that a shutdown is going to hurt his own party. But somehow, Chuck Schumer convinced himself, and he's trying to convince others, that a government shutdown is going to help them, is going to benefit them. I just don't understand how that can be. I mean, has he lost his understanding of political reality? Is Chuck Schumer living in some parallel universe, alternate world? Is he able to see and read and hear things that are happening in the political world? Because if he does, then he will clearly understand that the shutdown is actually going to very adversely affect the Democrats. There's no way that a shutdown can help the Democrats when the Democrats have caused this. This is the radical left Democrat shutdown. And you all understand that. And some of you may be saying, Tausif, you've said it enough. We understand it. It's the radical left Democrat shutdown. You don't need to repeat it. Okay. If you want me to stop repeating it, I will. But there are new viewers coming in who may not be as familiar with the political landscape. Maybe they're here to learn. Maybe they're searching for more information, and that's how they ended up in this video, in this live chat. So for them, I need to repeat this. It's the radical left Democrat government shutdown. Chuck Schumer and his team caused this shutdown. Chuck Schumer is the leader of the Democrats in the Senate, so he's technically the minority leader because the Democrats are in the minority. And he believes that it gets better every day for the Democrats. How in the world did he come to that conclusion? Anyway, I just don't understand it. Every day the shutdown goes on, the more and more people are getting sick and tired of the Democrat Party drama. That's right. Every day the shutdown goes on. Day 14, day 15, day 16. I mean, this is day 15 now. If it goes on for another day, it'll be day 16. And 15 days is too long. Even one day is too long. Even one day is too long. And here we are, day 15. 15 days, 54 minutes, 13 seconds. So, my friends, the American people can hear, they can see, they can read, they can process information. The human brain absorbs a lot of information. We listen, we see, we read, and our brain will process all that information. And any rational human being would understand that the radical left Democrat Party is causing tremendous damage to our economy and to our global image. On one hand, we are winning. We see the Trump administration renegotiating trade deals, bringing back businesses to America, attracting tremendous amount of investment into America. The Trump administration is promoting peace, ending wars across the world, promoting peace and ending wars. And then, as the world sees everything and the world is saying, America is stronger than ever before, America is back, America has a real leader, Donald Trump. But then they hear about this shutdown. Oh, the American federal government's shutdown. Why? Because of the Democrat Party, because of the radical left, the radical extreme left. Imagine what it does to our image, our global image, with everything that America is winning, everything that President Trump is doing to make the world a better place. But then we got this government shutdown. So the more the shutdown goes on, the more and more Americans suffer, and the more and more Americans are rejecting the Democrat Party. So if Chuck Schumer thinks that it gets better every day for his party, then he is wrong. Then he is absolutely wrong, my friends. And you know it, I know it. But who's going to explain it to Chuck Schumer? My friends, we're going to talk about the upcoming midterm election 2026, as I already stated towards the beginning of this live stream. By the way, if you love this live stream, if you love talking about social and political issues, both domestic and international, if you want to talk about energy policy, transportation policy, healthcare policy, if you want to talk about border policy, immigration, whatever your area of interest, if you like to discuss things that are going on in the country and around the world, this is the channel where you can participate in constructive dialogue. It's not just me talking. I also answer questions. I respond to comments that I see appearing in the live chat window. I conduct polls. As you can see, there's a poll running right now that you can respond to. And it's a channel where we interact. It's not just a channel, it's a community. We're trying to attract more and more freedom-loving people to be a part of this community. So my friends, please subscribe, stay connected. I have a lot more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Just because I'm asking you to subscribe doesn't mean I'm saying, oh, please subscribe and then goodbye. No, I have a lot more to say. I'm just taking a little break. And in the meantime, I'll also drink a little tea. Okay? Well, wonderful tea. And there's a lot more to discuss. So stay here. And mark the date on your calendar. Mark the date on your calendar, my friends. Give me a second here. Hold on. November the 3rd of 2026. That's not 2025, not this November. I'm talking about next year's November, okay? You got to mark that date, and let me double check that. So midterm election 2026. It's going to be on November 3rd of 2026, which, as we know, is a Tuesday. And you got to mark that date on the calendar, because whatever I'm saying right now, you're going to find out if I'm right or wrong. Because I'm going to be making some predictions here. Well, you can't call them predictions, but I'll just say I'm going to express to you the conclusions that I've come to, given the information as of now, whatever conclusion I've arrived at regarding what's going to happen in November 2026, the midterm election. Okay? So, Chuck Schumer says every day gets better for the Democrats because of the shutdown, which is just such a wrong thing to say. So I think what Chuck Schumer is referring to is the November 3rd, 2026 midterm election. Chuck Schumer is somehow coming to the conclusion that the longer the shutdown, the better it is for the Democrat Party. I'll tell you, it's just the opposite. The longer the shutdown, the worse it is for the Democrat Party, because the Democrats have caused the shutdown. So November 3rd, 2026, you're going to find out if I'm right or wrong. But here's what I think. Chuck Schumer believes, I think, that the Democrats will take control of the U.S. Senate. Let me tell you, in November 2026, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the Democrats will win the Senate majority. No, I think the Republicans will hold on to the Senate majority, and I think there's a good chance that the Republicans may actually gain more seats in the Senate in the November 2026 midterm election. And then Hakeem Jeffries, by the way, we've been talking a lot about Chuck Schumer, right? You're probably sick and tired of Tassif, you've mentioned the name Chuck Schumer so many times. What is going on? It's not even half hour into the live stream, and you've mentioned the name Chuck Schumer. Oh, we stopped counting. How many times? 2 dozen, 3 dozen. I'm sorry. Now I'm not going to talk about Chuck Schumer for a little bit. I'm going to talk about Hakeem Jeffries. Who knows who Hakeem Jeffries is? Hakeem Jeffries is the leader of the Democrats in the House. So in Congress, you got the House, you got the Senate. We were talking about the Senate. Now we'll talk about the House. So Hakeem Jeffries is the leader of the Democrats in the House. Now in the House, the Democrats, just like in the Senate, in the House also, the Democrats are in the minority. So the Speaker is a Republican, Mike Johnson. By the way, Mike Johnson is an amazing speaker. I think he's doing a great job. And if you agree with that, just say Mike Johnson's a great speaker. You can write that in the live chat window, okay? And feel free to do that. Feel free to write it in the live chat. Just say, Speaker Johnson is doing great. Okay, so talk about Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries is the leader of the Democrats in the House. And I think this is someone who has a dream of becoming the speaker someday. Now, if Hakeem Jeffries ever becomes the Speaker of the House, I think it'll be very bad for our economy. If Hakeem Jeffries ever becomes the Speaker of the House, if the Democrats ever win the House majority and Hakeem Jeffries becomes the Speaker, our country is going to be in a lot of trouble economically because, you know, folks like Hakeem Jeffries, they support socialist left-wing policies. I mean, that's the radical left. You cannot let the radical left gain power in the House. You look at AOC, you look at Hakeem Jeffries, you look at some of the far left voices in the House. If they ever win the majority, it's going to be very bad because, you know, the far left, they're going to push for things like Green New Deal. They're going to push for crazy policies which will really ruin the economy. The Green New Deal, which you can call the Green New Scam, right? President Trump calls it a scam. It is a scam. The Green New Deal is a scam. So if you ever get Hakeem Jeffries as the House Speaker, then the Democrats are going to use their power to push for stuff like the Green New Deal and other socialist policies. So what we need to do, we the Republicans, we need to stay in the majority, not only in the Senate, but also in the House. Now, at this moment, we have a very slim majority in the House, okay? The Republicans are still in charge. The Speaker is still a Republican, Mike Johnson, but our majority is very slim in the House. So what we need to do in 2026 is we need to gain more seats, not only in the Senate, but also in the House of Representatives. So Hakeem Jeffries is probably thinking that the Democrats are going to take control of the House. I mean, he seems very confident. He seems quite arrogant to me, if you ask me. And Hakeem Jeffries, the reason why Hakeem Jeffries seems to be so happy about this government shutdown is because I think Mr. Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries, is thinking, just like Chuck Schumer is thinking, Hakeem Jeffries is probably also thinking that the shutdown is going to help the Democrats. He's probably hoping to win the majority in 2026 November. But I don't think it's going to happen. Here's what I think is happening. The Democrats, especially the leaders, like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, I think they're becoming overconfident. Overconfident. Now, overconfidence is never good in politics. Okay? I'll just express that in simple language. If you are in politics and you feel overconfident, if you are in politics and through your actions, you express overconfidence, or through your words, you express overconfidence. If people look at you and they say, that guy's overconfident, that's how he acts, that's how he walks, that's how he talks, that is definitely overconfident, that's really bad. Confidence is good, but overconfidence, it's really bad, especially in politics. My friends, I have been in politics for many years, okay? And I can tell you one thing. In politics, you have to be humble. Now, that means you may be an office holder at the federal level, you may be an office holder at the state level, you may be an office holder at the local level, you may be a political strategist, you may be an advisor to a political candidate or an advisor to an elected official, you may be a volunteer spending a few hours a week helping with a campaign. Whatever your position is in politics, office holder, not office holder, strategist, volunteer, whatever, if you are in some way, shape, or form involved in the political process, my friends, let me tell you, the most important thing to keep in mind is to be humble. You always have to be humble. You have to be humble. No exceptions. And if you think that you don't have a humble mentality, if you think that you want to be arrogant, that there's no way you can be humble, it's not your personality, well, then politics is not for you. We have seen, if you look through political history, you'll see people who became arrogant, people who became overconfident, people who felt like they were on the very top. If you look at their history, you'll see that it's not a good mentality to have. You have to be humble. That's how you stay in politics, because it's all about, at the end of the day, it's about making the country a better place, making the world a better place. Why do you engage in politics? Why do you get involved in the process? Because you want to improve the way the society is governed. You want to get better candidates in elected offices so that they can govern in a better way, so that people's lives can be improved, so that the economy can become stronger, so that we can become more competitive globally. So the end goal of politics is to serve people, to help people. That's it. So if you are in politics and you're not humble, you're arrogant, you're overconfident, that's bad, and it doesn't serve the purpose. And as I said, you look at history. Hillary Clinton, she was arrogant. Look what happened. Did she win the presidency? She did not. That's an example. If somebody becomes too arrogant, things don't go in their favor. Remember when Hillary Clinton said something very insulting about Trump supporters? I'm not going to repeat that language, but you know what I'm talking about. You go back to the 2016 presidential race. Remember what Hillary Clinton said? The comment she made about the Trump supporters? That was a very arrogant and rude comment. It was just a very nasty comment, and look what happened. She became arrogant, she lost, never won the presidency. Never won the presidency. So that's just one example. We can go example after example after example, which I'm not gonna do. That's not the purpose of this live stream. But in simple terms, I'll say being overconfident, being arrogant is bad for politics. You got to be humble always, whether you win or lose, whether you are young or old, whether you are new in politics or you've been in politics for many years, many decades. No matter who you are. If you are in politics, you gotta be humble. That's why when a candidate wins on election night, the candidate stands in front of the supporters at the podium, up on a stage where there's an election night party taking place, holds the mic, and in a very humble manner has to thank the supporters, has to thank the volunteers, has to thank the family and friends and everyone who showed support for that candidate. In a very humble manner, you express your gratitude if you win. And if you lose, then you have to pick up the phone, you have to call your opponent who won, you have to concede the race, and you have to say, congratulations, you've won. That's being humble. All right? You accept the will of the people, you're humble, and you congratulate the other person. So anyway, you get the message. I don't need to elaborate that any further. And so the point is, no matter where you are in politics, you have to be humble. Now, what Chuck Schumer did, one would think that after being in politics for so long, for decades, he would know the importance of being humble. But then he ended up saying this, which is just echoing across the political world. Chuck Schumer said, every day gets better. How can he say that? How can he say every day gets better for the Democrats when there are so many federal workers not knowing, they don't know if they're going to get their paycheck. They don't know how long the shutdown will go on. They don't know what they're going to do if they don't receive their paycheck on time. Air traffic controllers, TSA workers, so many others. In my previous live stream, I talked about that. So when Americans are suffering, and it's not just the federal workers, when the federal government is shut down, it has a ripple effect. It affects the business community. It affects, it impacts the whole economy, and people suffer. Just the uncertainty, keep everything aside, just the uncertainty. Okay, how long is the shutdown going to be? Is it 10 days? Is it 15 days? Is it 20 days? Is it 40 days? Is it going to be like 60 days? How long is this shutdown going to be? Just that uncertainty, it causes tremendous damage. And I mentioned this during the previous live stream I did earlier today. According to the Treasury Secretary, every day that the government is shut down, every day of shutdown can lead to up to $15 billion in lost output. Yeah, no, I didn't say million. In case you're saying, oh, toss it, 15 million, is that what you said? No. I said 15 billion with a B, okay? B. 15 billion dollars. So every day the government is shut down, our country, the United States of America, the country that we're trying to make America great again. We're trying to make America great again, but because of the radical left Democrat shutdown, radical left Democrat government shutdown, we're losing up to $15 billion every day. That's the loss in output. So this is so painful. This is so painful. And Chuck Schumer says every day gets better for the Democrats. Now, his comments did not go unnoticed, obviously. I've been talking about it. I talked about it previously. I'm talking about it again. And there are so many others across the country talking about this. And people who are sitting at home and they know that they're going to miss their paycheck because of the radical left Democrat government shutdown, imagine how they feel. There are many people There are many federal workers who are not Democrat or Republican. They may just be independents. Or maybe they don't pay much attention to politics. They just do their jobs. They go to work. They put in their hours. They do hard work. They just expect a paycheck at the end of the pay period, and they just want to raise a good family, send the kids to school, celebrate the holidays, maybe go on a vacation if they can afford. They want to save money for retirement. They want to put food on the table, pay the bills, and stay up to date with the expenses. People with simple lives. And those are the people who are now going to suffer the most. Many people are going to suffer to various degrees. But those hardworking people who are going to miss your paychecks, and they don't have luxury lives, they don't have lavish lives, they're just simple people living simple lives with simple expectations. They just want to be able to work hard, earn a paycheck, put food on the table. They're going to miss their paycheck. They're going to suffer because of the radical Democrat government shutdown and Chuck Schumer. And they're going to hear Chuck Schumer saying, every day gets better for the Democrats. How awful is that? How can you say that? How can you say that? You have to have compassion for your fellow human beings, regardless of race, religion, color of the skin, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of background, whatever. We're all human beings. We have to have love for each other. We're the same people, okay? We may look different. The color of the skin, the God we worship may be different, but same human beings of flesh and blood. And we don't want to see anyone suffer. But Chuck Schumer and his allies have shut down the government, and people are suffering. My friends, I know I'm talking a lot. There's a lot I want to say. And when I do these live streams, it's really whatever is in my heart, whatever comes to my mind, I say it. It's genuine. You may like it, you may not. My policy positions, you may agree with me, you may not. That's all right. But I say what's in my heart. I present that to you, and you can judge me, that's fine. I understand when I'm doing a live stream, I'm basically putting myself out there for people to judge. Some of you are going to say, Tausif, you are a patriot. Tausif, thank you for doing what you do. Tausif, thank you for saying what you say. Tausif, thank you for providing a platform where we can come and discuss important things. You might say that. And some of you might say, Tausif, I disagree with everything you say. Tausif, I don't like what you're saying. Tausif, you're wrong. I mean, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I never said you have to agree with me. You know what? Because if we all thought the same way, then there truly would be no diversity. Diversity is not just about skin color or religion or ethnic origin. Diversity is about diversity of thought. I mean, you go to a Republican event, because I'm a Republican. I go to Republican events all the time. You go to an event, 50 people in the room, all Republicans, but you know what? You start talking about issues, or you ask them like, okay, we got a problem, how do we fix it? Different people will give you different solutions. Because even when you have the same political affiliation, it doesn't mean that you're all thinking the same thing and you're all just, because if that would be the case, then we would lose, like, we would not be humans, it'd be like machine. We are human beings, we have diverse thoughts, and even when you're looking at a group of, where everyone has the same political affiliation, they may have diversity of views, and that is healthy, that is normal, that is what leads to better dialogue, innovation, and more knowledge. My friends, I don't want everyone to think the same way. You don't have to agree with me. But all I ask for is that when you're engaging in the live chat, let's treat each other with respect. I've probably said that a million times, but I feel like every time it needs to be repeated. Let's treat each other with respect. No name calling, no insulting. Express your viewpoints and have a debate. You can argue as long as you're doing it in a respectful manner. And let's learn from each other. So, anyway, going back to what I was saying, Chuck Schumer's comments did not go unnoticed. In fact, freedom-loving Americans did notice it. They listened to what Chuck Schumer said when he said, every day gets better. And people are deeply hurt. Americans are feeling pain because they heard one of the elected officials, a very prominent elected official. I don't agree with Chuck Schumer on most things, on most policy issues. I don't agree with Chuck Schumer. But I understand that Chuck Schumer has a very high-ranking position in the Senate. He may be in the minority, but he still is the leader of the minority. So he has a very powerful position. And for somebody in that position, for somebody in that position to say, every day gets better during a government shutdown, it really hurts the people. It really hurts the American people listening to that. The American people who are waiting for their next paycheck, the American people with bills to pay, the American people worried about the uncertainty of the government shutdown. When they hear that Chuck Schumer is saying every day gets better, think what kind of impact it has on their lives. Is this the way an elected official should be speaking? Is this the way that an elected official in Congress should speak, in the Senate? What Chuck Schumer said, every day gets better during a shutdown? You know, the military troops, they were going to miss their paycheck. But thank God we have the Trump administration in power. Donald Trump and his team worked hard to make sure that they come up with funds to cover the paychecks for the military troops. And like I said earlier today during my previous live stream, it's not a permanent solution, it's a temporary fix. But it still makes a huge difference. It still makes a tremendous difference, because for the military service member who waits for that check and that check doesn't come, it's devastating. It can be devastating. Depending on a person's financial situation, if the person doesn't have enough savings to cover the expenses due to the loss of a paycheck, it can be devastating. But to now know that President Trump and his team made sure that the troops get their paycheck. They don't miss this paycheck. It's a very big deal. So it truly shows that the Republicans truly care about the US troops. While the Democrats, they shut the government down, and instead of feeling sorry, they say every day gets better. I mean, you listen, whatever I'm saying, these are the facts. You can go fact check me. Kay Cooper said, God bless the military. Yes, God bless the military. Every day we're grateful for the military. Kay Cooper, good to see you. Sorry, I've not been able to mention the names of my friends who are in the live chat here. But really, I see a lot of new people. Zachary's here. Hi, Zachary. Frank is here. Frank, good to see you, Frank. Who else is here? We got more friends here. I'm looking at the live chat, but the comments move so fast, so before I can read a name, it just goes away. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate you very, very much. By the way, I'm not done, so don't go anywhere. I'm just taking a little break. I like to recognize the friends who tune in for the live chat here. So yeah, thank you for being here. Lots of people here today. Make sure that you're subscribing, okay? It's important. You got to subscribe. By the way, just want to let you know, if we get 33 more subscribers, we're going to get to 14,200, okay? Not a huge milestone, but for a small channel like this, it's a big deal, you know? Every time we get 100 more subscribers, we're just growing and growing. So yeah, 33 more subscribers, that'd be great if we can get that, okay? All right, Zachary says, let's go. Thank you, Zachary. By the way, do you love my hat? Most people do. Most people love my hat. The folks on the left may not appreciate it, but freedom-loving folks love my hat. I love my hat. Make America Great Again. Like I said, it's not just a slogan. It's a commitment that we're going to do this. Cassie says, I love your hat. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Kay Cooper says, love the hat. Thank you, Kay. All right, my friends. Yeah. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. Okay. So as I was saying, the shutdown hurts American people. And people are not going to forget this when they vote in November of next year. I mean, you might think next November is far away. But you know what? Like I said, time goes by really fast. And all those people who are going to be missing their paychecks because of the shutdown, all those people whose businesses will be impacted because the federal government shut down, all those people who will be in some way, shape, or form adversely impacted because of the government shutdown, a year from now, they are not going to forget this. And more strongly than ever, the American voters will reject the Democrats. They rejected the Democrats pretty strongly in November 2024, and in November 2026, it's going to be even stronger. Even stronger. Okay? All those people who are going to miss their paychecks, the families of federal workers, the families that are going to unfortunately end up in financial problems, financial worry, because they missed paychecks because of the federal government shutdown, which is really the radical left Democrat federal shutdown. They will remember this next year, and when they go to the polling station to vote, the people, the freedom-loving people, will reject the Democrats more strongly. The Democrats' candidate on the ballot will feel the impact of this federal government shutdown. So the Democrats running for Senate, the Democrats running for House, the Democrats running for various offices who are going to be on the ballot in November of 2026, they will feel the impact of this government shutdown. And what Chuck Schumer says, every day gets better, that is absolutely wrong. Every day is getting worse for the Democrats, and they will realize this next year, November. And if you're saying, oh, it's a year from now, don't underestimate the memory of the American people. We don't forget. We don't forget. If you're working hard and you miss a paycheck because of the radical left Democrat government shutdown, you're not going to forget that. And if someone thinks you're going to forget that, well, then they are detached from reality. So Chuck Schumer and his party will see the loss in the election that's coming up. And my friends, the Democrats, I believe, they're already on a path to losing many seats in Congress next year. I think so. I think so. Hold on a second here. I'm going to look at something. Wow, lots of people here. Lots and lots of people. I'm trying to read some of the comments in the live chat, but I don't think I can keep up. There are just so many people. Wow. All right. Hold on a second here. Okay. More than 300 people watching at this very moment. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. So my friends, right now, as I said, the GOP has a very slim majority in the House. But I think looking beyond 2026, I'm confident, not overconfident. I'm never overconfident. Like I said, I'm humble. I feel confident. But I never say, oh, this is going to happen no matter what. No, you can't be overconfident. So I have reasons to believe, my analysis tells me, given the information that I have, given my understanding of the current political landscape and whatever is happening in the country and around the world, I can tell you, I feel confident that the Republican majority in the House of Representatives will grow in size. That's right. We have a slim majority now, but we, the Republicans, will have a much bigger majority beyond November 2026. I think in the midterm election, we are going to gain a lot more seats. I really hope so, but I also feel confident, just confident. And that's in the House, okay? That's in the House. So Hakeem Jeffries, he may be dreaming of becoming the Speaker of the House after November 2026, but you know what? I think it'll be Mike Johnson. I think he will remain as the Speaker because he has done a tremendous job so far. I mean, it's a tough job being the Speaker of the House. Never easy. And that's one position where, as soon as you become the Speaker, a lot of people like you, a lot of people don't. Because any leadership role like that, it's tough. You cannot make everyone happy. And that's why being a speaker is one of the most challenging things, being the speaker of the house. And Mike Johnson, let me tell you, I think he's doing a pretty good job given the level of stress associated with that position, given all the difficult negotiations that you have to do, and even resolve differences within one's caucus, within one's party. It's not easy, especially when the majority is such a slim majority. So Mike Johnson's doing a great job, and I feel confident that going beyond November 2026, he's going to have a much bigger majority than what we have right now, we the Republicans. And I think things are going to get a lot better when we go into 2027, because that's when the new cycle, the new congressional cycle starts. And talking about the Senate, so I talked about the House very briefly. I'm not yet giving you a district by district nationwide breakdown of, okay, which ones are the solid red seats, which one are the likely red seats, which ones are the solid blue seats and the likely blue seats, which ones are the toss-ups, and who's retiring, who's not running for re-election, who are the new candidates. And yeah, that's going to take me hours, so I'm not going into that discussion, because in the House we got so many seats. So I'm not going to go into that discussion right now. Maybe I will over the course of the next few months, hopefully. But right now, let's talk about the Senate, the United States Senate. In the United States Senate, we the Republicans, we have 53 seats. 53 seats. Now, the reason why we're not able to, just the Republicans, we are not able to pass this budget is because 60 votes are needed in the Senate to pass the budget. 60 votes. So we got 53 seats. We need 60 votes, and that's why it's important. It's necessary to get some Democrat votes. And there are some Democrats who are, supporting the idea of opening up the government, but not enough. So more Democrat votes are needed in the Senate to basically open up the government and move forward. Let me see. All right. Okay. I'm just looking at some comments here. Some really nice people and some not so nice people. Okay. Wow. So many comments. Unbelievable. Let's see. Like more than 300 people watching right now, which is great, which is awesome. Okay. So as I was saying, in very, very simple language, we have 53 seats in the Senate right now. Going beyond November 2026, I think there's a real opportunity for the Republicans to win some seats. Okay? I mean, if we stay with just 53, it's good enough. Okay? Given the current political landscape. But I would love to see us go to 55. All right? And it's possible. It's doable. We can get to 55 seats. Okay? It's going to require a lot of work. It will require tremendous commitment. But it is possible. We can get to 55. Okay. Now, last year, before the November 2024 election, I actually did very thorough analysis, very detailed analysis of the different Senate races in the different states, and which ones I thought we could win, which ones I thought would be more difficult, and so on and so forth. Like I talked about the candidates. I talked about the Pennsylvania race. I talked about the Wisconsin race. Pennsylvania, we won. Senator McCormick, he's there. We won that one. Wisconsin in 2024, we did not win the Senate race. Our Republican candidate did not win. Um, so, I talked about all that. I talked about Nevada. I talked about Montana. I talked about um, Ohio. So I spent hours doing live streams talking about the different Senate races leading up to November 2024, and just talking about the different the poll numbers and the trends in poll numbers and so on and so forth. And what I wish to do going forward is similar analysis, and there's a lot of time for that. We don't have to do it today. I mean, we could, but we don't have to. As we go into next year, as the political environment gets more heated, there's more excitement, more activity, more predictions, and more polls, and more analysis, and more commentary, so on and so forth. There's going to be a lot to talk about, but I do feel confident in simple language that we may be able to get to 55 seats. All right? I mean, just think about this. We can defeat Jon Ossoff in Georgia. Like, how in the world? And I still, to this day, I got to tell you this. I know we're going back a few years if we want to recap the history of how we got to where we are in Georgia. But I can tell you that I still feel quite frustrated when I see that a state like Georgia has 2 Democrat U.S. senators. Like, how in the world did we get to this point? 2 Democrat U.S. senators in Georgia? Georgia is red. Georgia is a red state. Georgia is a Republican state. I love Georgia. I love Georgia. How in the world did we end up with Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff, 2 Democrats in Georgia? I don't know. But you know what? Listen, my friends, I've always said this. We cannot lose hope. We have to be optimistic. You know what? This is probably something I have said a million times, would you say? Not a million. Not a million, maybe 2 million. Maybe 5 million times, probably I've said. Optimism and hope. Because it works. If you think positive, it gives you the drive, the energy to work, to move forward and to try to achieve. So we have to think positive. Positive thoughts, positive actions, victory. Understand that? Very simple language, very simple logic. Frank says, happy birthday. Thank you, Frank. It is my birthday. It is my birthday. Frank, thank you so much. So wonderful. It is my birthday. In fact, when I started this live stream, it was still October 15th. And then this live stream's been going on for over an hour now. So I went from October 15th to October 16th, which is my birthday, October 16th, doing a live stream. So I basically went from one date to the next, crossed midnight into my birthday while doing this live stream. So thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that very, very much. Okay? Thank you. Yeah, it's my birthday. I just saw that comment pop up from Frank, and there was somebody else. Was it Kristen? Kristen, did you do that? Okay, Cooper says, I've been trying to get your attention by saying happy birthday. Oh, I am so sorry if I missed. I, I gotta tell you, so many viewers coming in today, and the comment section is moving so fast. So I have missed a lot of comments. I see on my end, on my screen, I just see the comments just keep going, keep moving up like that. Easy to miss. So I apologize, but Kay Cooper and Frank, and was it Christine? Thank you. Thanks for wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you so very much. It is so wonderful to be doing this. I went from October 15th to October 16th while doing a live stream, spending time with my friends, and tonight has been pretty amazing. I'm going to check the numbers afterwards, but a lot of people coming in. I mean, look at the number of likes. It's up to 94. Up to 94. We can get to 100. 6 more likes. 6 more likes, and we're going to get to 100. 95 now. 5 more likes. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. You are so wonderful. I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed to have so many wonderful friends here. Give me a second here. This community is growing really fast. We're doing great, okay? And it's all about promoting the truth, spreading the truth, and sharing the facts, and protecting our freedom, and protecting our constitutional rights, right? Exactly. That's what we do. All right. So 98 likes. Let's get to 100 very easily. 2 more likes, and we're going to get to 100. Promoting the truth. Truth. Someone says MAGA. MAGA, absolutely. Make America great again. Make America great again. So please make sure that you're subscribing. By the way, I'm not done. I have more to talk about. So as I was saying, Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, 2 Democrat U.S. senators in Georgia. There is a wonderful opportunity for us to defeat Jon Ossoff because he's up for re-election. We can defeat Jon Ossoff. When is Jon Ossoff up for re-election? Do you know? Jon Ossoff is up for re-election in 2026. Next year. Exactly. I knew that. Just had to double check. So, Jon Ossoff, left-wing politician, Democrat. There's a wonderful opportunity for the Republicans to win that seat back in Georgia. And if we do that, it's going to be glorious. It is going to be so glorious, so wonderful. Someone's asking me, where are you from? I'm originally from Bangladesh, South Asia. Came to the United States of America as a legal immigrant. Legal. Followed the law. I always do. And I became a naturalized United States citizen in 2014. Okay, in 2014. So you asked the question, I answered. I appreciate that. Okay, I appreciate that. In 2014, I became a U.S. citizen. And any more question? Yeah, I'm a law-abiding American. I'm a proud American. Okay. So yeah, I got my naturalization process done. Got my U.S. citizenship. I'm a proud American. I love this country. I got to tell you this. The United States of America, and you know this already. You know this, but I'm going to repeat that again. The United States of America is the greatest country in the world. Okay. Absolutely greatest. And we are fortunate to have the greatest president, the greatest president, the 45th president, the 47th president, Donald J. Trump. USA, Zachary is saying USA, USA, USA. Absolutely. So, I love this country, my friends. I love America. I'm proud to be an American. And you know what? Every day we have to protect our freedom. Every day we have to protect our freedom. So, so my friends, as I was saying, we got to focus on Georgia. If we want to win a seat, if we want to go from 53 seats in the Senate to 54, we have to win Georgia. We have to defeat Jon Ossoff, and it is possible. It is Georgia. We got to win in Georgia. We have to defeat Jon Ossoff. Increase the size of the majority that the GOP has in the US Senate. Zachary is saying vote red. Absolutely, Zachary. Vote red. Vote Republican. Okay. And then, hey, listen. You're saying toss it. You want to go to 55 seats? You're saying we got 53 seats? You're talking about Jon Ossoff. That means if we win that, we hold on to whatever we have, and we win that Georgia Senate race, then we get to 54. But you said 55. How are we going to get to 55? What else do you have in mind? What other seats can we win? We need at least one more. My friends, I got good news. I got good news. There's a U.S. Senate seat that we can win in Michigan. All right? Michigan. Who's from Michigan? Anyone from Michigan? We can win the Michigan Senate seat because Gary Peters, the Democrat U.S. Senator, he's not running for re-election. So there's a wonderful opportunity that we can win that Michigan Senate seat. And if we do, you know what happens, right? You know what happens? We get to 55. Taking into account the fact, which I think is going to be, which I think is going to be the case, that we're going to hold on to whatever we have and then win two more. Isn't that going to be awesome? Isn't that going to be awesome? Anyone else? Rachel, good to see you, Rachel. Rachel's here. Our friend Rachel from Waukesha, Wisconsin is here. All right. Okay, so who's from Michigan? Anyone from Michigan? Anyone else? Who's from Michigan? Oh, Linda is saying Michigan here. Awesome. Thanks for being here, Linda. Oregon. Okay, we got Oregon. We got Michigan. Juliet is saying me. Okay, you're from Michigan too. All right. Wow. See, I would love to get to know some of you, but the comment section is moving so fast, so fast, so fast. Is it Lauren? Lauren saying Georgia here? Okay, is that Lauren? Is that how I pronounce it? Is it Lauren or Lauren? I apologize if I'm mispronouncing anyone's name. I don't do it on purpose. It's just, I want to get to know Lauren. Is it Lauren? Lauren, right? Lauren? Thanks, Lauren. Ryan is saying, howdy, Tossif. Hey, Ryan. Thanks for being here. Oh, like Sophia Loren. Okay, Lauren. Lauren, got it. Like Sophia Loren. Lauren. Okay, Lauren. I got it now. I got it. Okay. All right. By the way, Sophia Loren, truly wonderful actress. Truly wonderful actress. I do like old movies. Um, I do like old movies. I have one of my favorite movies. It's not a Sophia Loren movie. It's an Audrey Hepburn movie. Roman Holiday. Who likes Roman Holiday? Did you watch Roman Holiday? I love Roman Holiday. Uh, so Lauren is saying my mom's favorite actress. Is that Sophia Loren, your favorite actress? Maddie is saying Roman Holiday, the best movie. Roman Holiday is like, that's the kind of movie you want to watch. Such an amazing movie. Truly. I mean, it's like timeless. You can watch it anytime, anywhere. 100 years from now, you can watch Roman Holiday. I love it. I actually think I have the DVD. I think I have the DVD. I have a big collection. I think I have the DVD. But nowadays you can just go online and stream it. You don't need the DVD. But I still love to have the DVD. I'm a millennial, but I'm a little bit of like old-fashioned, a little bit. I'm a millennial, so you know, and now I'm a year older because it's my birthday. Uh, let's see. Wow, so many comments. No, this channel is not about movies, but we can talk about movies. We can talk about whatever we want. Anyway, so I was saying Roman Holiday, awesome movie, but we'll move on with the political discussion here, right? Someone says, bro looks 50. Do I look 50? Do I look like I'm 50 years old? Well, if I do, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with looking like you're 50. I don't think I look 50. Someone says 55. Oh, well. Hey, listen, sometimes when I see folks trying to make fun of me, hey, I love it. All right? I'm a humorous person. I'm a humorous person. Yeah, I am a millennial. I am a millennial. Trust me. Okay? If you're born in the 80s, you're a millennial. Okay? Speaking in simple terms. So I am a millennial. Like it or not. It's a nice generation, the millennials. Wow. Yeah, somebody just said, I look 50. And somebody else said, no, 55. Nothing wrong with looking 50 or 55. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I do have a lot of gray hair. I don't know if you can tell. A lot of gray hair. Yeah, my hair is all natural. That's why it's gray. All right, my friends. So let's continue with the conversation that we're having. I believe that we can win Georgia, the Senate race. I think we can win the Michigan Senate race because you know what? Think about it. 2024, President Trump won Georgia. President Trump won Michigan. So if President Trump can win Georgia and Michigan, if President Trump goes and he does some rallies, if he goes out and helps, makes endorsement and helps the candidates out in Georgia and Michigan, if he spends time on the ground in Georgia and Michigan doing rallies and campaign events, I think the GOP candidates can win. Now, I'm speaking in general terms. Okay, I'm not talking about any specific GOP candidate. I'm just saying whoever the GOP nominee is in Georgia and Michigan, if we have a good enough candidate, and if President Trump is willing to invest his time and energy into helping that candidate out, those candidates in Georgia and Michigan, then we can win. Now, going forward, I'm going to specifically discuss the candidates and their strengths and whether they can win or not. What I think, my analysis, I'm going to go into the discussion of like more details, individual details. I will do that. Okay? I will do that. So I may not be able to do that now, but I'll do that soon. And there's another Senate race in addition to Georgia and Michigan. I think we have to pay attention to the New Hampshire Senate race. I think that's going to be very important. New Hampshire. Okay. Anyone from New Hampshire here? You know, I looked at some statistics, and it seems that most of the viewers on my channel during the live streams are from California and Texas and Florida and New York, from those big states. Anyone from New Hampshire here? Anyone from New Hampshire? Okay, somebody is trying to point out that my clock says 11. It doesn't say 11. That's where you make the mistake. It's not 11 p.m. It is actually 1 p.m. Okay, a little past 1. It's 1:04. You have to understand that when I've got the smartphone in front of me, it's in selfie mode. And what happens in selfie mode? It's a mirror image. So when you see 11, it's actually not 11. It's 1. Okay? It's 1. So can you read the writing here? No, you can't, because you're seeing a mirror image here, right? So that's what it is. This is my right hand, not my left hand. This is my left hand, not my right hand. So that's what it is. So you have to understand. Yeah, 1 a.m. Yeah, I mean, what did I say p.m.? I meant a.m. Yeah, 1 a.m. Right. I might have said p.m. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's 1 a.m. Okay, so when you see 11, it's not 11. It's just the mirror image. It's 1. So, people have pointed that out before. People have said, "Oh, you're not in America. You're somewhere else. Look at your clock." Well, you got to understand, it's a mirror image because my camera is in selfie mode, where you see the mirror image. Pretty simple stuff, okay? All right. Someone's saying the shutdown will cost the Democrats in 2026 bigly. That's what I'm saying, because people's eyes are open. People can see, the freedom-loving Americans, the American voters, they can see what the Democrats are doing to the economy. As Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, who by the way is doing a great job as the Secretary of the Treasury, and he said up to $15 billion of lost output every day. We cannot afford that as a country. We cannot. Someone's asking me, hold on, what was that question? Hello, Toss, if you're doing great. Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate words of encouragement, absolutely, and I get a lot of encouragement from my friends and well-wishers. I really do. Um, and I'm never discouraged by the nasty comments and the hate that I get from some folks here, because I believe in the positive things. Okay. Someone says beautiful shirt, by the way. Yeah, thank you. It's a flowery shirt. I've had it for a few years now. Um, Actually, maybe several years. I feel like I bought this before COVID. So yeah, it's been at least 5 years. Um, yeah, I have. I mean, this is not a Tommy Bahama, but I've got Tommy Bahama shirts that I wear that I like to wear with the flowery prints and everything. This is not a Tommy Bahama, but I like it. Mm, let's see. Someone's saying Trump is the best. He is. He is the greatest president. All right. I'm reading the comments. You might think like, what am I doing staring at this? I'm reading the comments here. Someone's saying MAGA. Someone's saying, take me back to the 80s. It's about my shirt. Is it an 80s shirt? Could be. Old-fashioned stuff is good, right? Yeah, Rachel, you're right. Gas price is going down. Gas price is going down quite a bit. It's going to go down even more. All right, you know what? Let me tell you this. 8 more subscribers and we'll get to 14,200. 8 more subscribers. There are over 200 people watching. Can I get 8 more subscribers? You think so? Would you be kind enough to subscribe so we can get to 14,200? All right, let's see. All right. Rachel says subscribe. Thank you, Rachel, for your words of support. All right, okay. Wow, still 200 people watching this. Frank is saying, nice birthday hat. Yeah. I really need to get a different color, I think. The same hat, MAGA hat, maybe in a different color. Wouldn't that be nice? If you have suggestions about what color I should get, you can let me know that. Please do. Okay? What color should I get next? Should I get the blue one or the red one, the classic red? I think red is pretty good. A lot of people wear the red MAGA hat. I can get the red one. Let me announce to you how many people have tuned in for this video, for this live stream in 1.5 hours. 54,000. Can you believe that? 54,000 so far in 1 hour and 30 minutes, just because we just got to 1 hour and 30 minutes. So 54,000 people tuned in. Isn't that special? I feel so amazing, especially because we went from October 15th to October 16th over the course of this live stream, and October 16th, that is today, being my birthday. So I feel extra happy that we got 54,000 views, because you can't see it on your end. You can only see the number of people who are there at any given point in time, and that number fluctuates. But altogether, 54,000. Isn't that awesome? Michael Brown's here. It's always wonderful when I see Michael Brown's name pop up. Our friend from Australia, Michael Brown. Yeah. Heather is saying hi. Hi, Heather. Let's see. Zachary is saying subscribe. Yes, please do. Please do subscribe. Let's see. I'm pretty excited. I'm happy. We got a lot of new community members today. Lots of views, which means our message is spreading. Our message is spreading. The more views, the better, because we want more people to know about this conversation that we're having. We want more people to listen to what we're saying. We want more people to think about the ongoing political issues. Somebody is asking me, what side are you on? Well, you can see my hat. You know what side I'm on. You know what side I'm on. I'm on the side of truth. I'm on the side of prosperity. I'm on the side of freedom. So the party that promotes freedom, the party that protects our Constitution, the party that wants to make America great again, greater than ever before, that's the side I'm on. I'm a proud American. And I believe in MAGA. DSAR is here. Hi there, DSAR. Good to see you. MAGA, absolutely. Heather is saying MAGA. That's right. So you know, my hat will tell you what side I am on quite clearly. Frank is saying MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. All right, now we're going to see if we got to 14,200 or not. Well, I need 5 more subscribers to get to 14,200. We can get there in the wink of an eye. Just 5 more subscribers. All right. So I have to ask you this question. I've talked about Georgia. I've talked about Michigan. I've talked about New Hampshire very briefly, not in details. But if we win Georgia, if we win Michigan, the Senate races, we go from 53 to 55 very easily. Now, as a bonus, if we can win New Hampshire, then we get to 56. Now, North Carolina is one that we also have to look at, because North Carolina is a seat that we already have with the Republicans, but the incumbent, Tom Tillis, is not running for re-election. So that means that's an open seat, and that is a seat that we have to hold on to. So let's assume we hold on to North Carolina. That means we don't lose any seat. We hold on to Kentucky. We don't lose any seat. And if we win Michigan, we go from 53 to 54. If we win Georgia, we go to 55. If we win New Hampshire, we go to 56. So 56 seats is going to be what I would say the best case scenario, or very close to the best case scenario. If we can win 56 seats, like we have 53 now, if we can get to 56, it's going to be real awesome. It's going to give us a very nice majority in the Senate. Now, not quite 60, okay? Not quite 60. 60 would be truly amazing. But 56 would be pretty good, okay? And in the House, we have to win more seats. But I'm going to do a more detailed analysis regarding the House at a later date, okay? Let's see who's here. Okay, so Stephen is saying, Stephen's asking me to talk about Illinois. Now, Illinois, listen, I'm going to talk about Illinois. I wasn't planning to for this live stream, but the question came up. Stephen asked me to talk about Illinois, so I will briefly, perhaps. But Illinois is a state that I've talked about before so many times, like many times, many times I've talked about Illinois. What's happening in Illinois is like what the Democrats are doing. It's a disaster. J.B. Pritzker quite likely has a dream of becoming the president. Okay, J.B. Pritzker is trying everything that he can to get more attention, to get more publicity, because I believe he wants to run for president in 2028. In the process, J.B. Pritzker is really doing a lot of damage to his state. J.B. Pritzker, he is supposed to be an elected official who thinks about the best interest of the people of Illinois. But J.B. Pritzker, what he is really doing is he is thinking about his political agenda, not about what's best for the people of Illinois, but he's thinking about his radical left talking points. Now, you might say, oh, JB is not that radical left. Oh, yeah, he's a Democrat. He's not radical far left. I think JB is radical far left. I think JB is radical far left. You look at his actions. President Trump is extending assistance to help clean up Illinois, to help, arrest the criminal aliens, to help arrest the criminals, and to make Chicago great again, to make Illinois great again. President Trump and his cabinet, you talk about Kristi Noem, you talk about Pete Hegseth, you talk about Tom Homan. Tom Homan's not in the cabinet, but he's in the administration. So you talk about all those people. The entire team is ready and willing and able to help Illinois reduce crime, eliminate crime, and just make the state a safer place, make the community safer. But J.B. Pritzker, what he should be doing, if J.B., the governor, really cared about Illinois, what he would have said is, Mr. President, thanks for offering help. We're willing to accept help. Please send in whatever resources you're able to. so that we can combat crime in Chicago, so that we can combat crime in some of the other areas around Chicago. And, let's just help improve the state and make this a better place. Because if Chicago becomes a safer city, if crime is eliminated, then Chicago is going to attract more businesses. Chicago is going to attract more tourists. People will visit Chicago more often. And that's good for Chicago. That's good for the entire state of Illinois. So JB, if he really cared about his state, he would have accepted President Trump's help. Okay? But instead, he's opposing the Trump administration. He's pushing back. He's trying to resist. And in the process, Chicago is suffering. The people are suffering. So ideally, JB would accept help, but he's not. So, it's just mind-boggling what he's trying to do. Like he's trying to go against the Trump administration, but in the process, he's allowing the people of Chicago to suffer. And he's also quite likely dreaming of being a presidential candidate, the Democrat presidential nominee. Clearly, you follow his actions, that's what he's trying to achieve, but he's doing it the wrong way. He's doing it the wrong way. He should accept President Trump's help. We got to pray for the ICE agents. We have to pray for the federal agents who are trying to clean up Chicago, who are trying to clean up these troublesome places where there's a lot of crime. And so the federal agents need to be able to go in and arrest the criminals and arrest also the criminal aliens, the illegal aliens who are in the United States without permission, without authorization. So I think I'm going to talk about Illinois in greater details in the future, in the near future. Like I'm thinking within the next few days. But today I'm just going to say whatever JB is doing is wrong. Whatever Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is doing is wrong. And I hope and pray that President Trump sends in more resources to Chicago, so that, by resources, I mean, I would love to see more federal agents in Chicago. That's it. More federal agents in Chicago and in the surrounding areas to fight crime. Okay, this is the land of Lincoln, as it is called, Illinois. But look what the Democrats have done to the land of Lincoln, Illinois. So I hope the Trump administration takes even stronger action to combat crime in Illinois and to make Illinois truly the land of Lincoln. Okay, so my friends, I think I'm gonna start wrapping up this live stream. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you for staying here with me, Tangerine. So good to see you. So good to see you. Oh, by the way, before we conclude, just write I support ICE. I support ICE. Okay. I do support ICE, and if you also support ICE, just write I support ICE, because I believe that the ICE agents, they deserve words of gratitude. They deserve our support. So I support ICE. I support the federal agents. They're putting their own lives at risk to serve the community. So I do definitely support ICE. Okay. And I hope you do as well. Lots of people saying I support ICE. Thank you so much. Stephen, thank you. Thanks for the question, Stephen, about Illinois. So thank you, my friends. I hope you all stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much for wishing me a happy birthday. I'm very grateful. A year older and hopefully more wiser, right? More wiser. I would like to be more wise as I grow older. So thank you. And thank you, Tangerine. Good to see you. Okay, my friends, thank you so very much. Please subscribe, stay connected, and also share my video. And if you have friends, family members, and neighbors who you think may be interested in watching my videos and learning more about the channel, please share the link with them. Ask them to check out a few videos, ask them to subscribe and be a part of the community of freedom-loving people. So thank you, my friends. May God bless you all. May God bless President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless our Republican leaders in Washington. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless our U.S. allies. And may God bless freedom-loving people all over the world. With that, thank you once again, my friends. I'm going to be back again very soon with more videos and more live stream. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful night.